Okay, good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut that blind because it's right onto my screen. There you go. Hopefully we're well. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. Hopefully I'm coming through. Please give me a thumbs up. Say something if you can hear me. Let me know that I'm coming through okay. Yeah, sorry about that music. Gosh, with this streaming software, we get the option to have different music sort of genres, and I always choose the corporate. I don't know what that was. Sounded like a little circus going on there. Not very business-like at all. Hopefully you're well. Hopefully you had a good week. Yeah, it's been a while. Supposed to come on for ECB last week, but unfortunately the whole area, bad storms here. The whole area had an internet outage, I think it was, or certainly my provider was. So we were down. I was down out of action for a couple of days. Well, I had 5G, but it's not good enough to stream really. Right, everything's coming through okay. Welcome if this is your first live stream with me, more than welcome. If it is your first live stream and you haven't engaged with me at all before, let me know where you're tuning in from, where you are in the world. Let me know the level of experience you're at as well. I always like to know what type of trader we're talking to, complete beginners, intermediate, so forth. So do get engaged, do get involved. The more involvement, the better the stream flows. If I just end up talking to myself, then normally the streams don't last as long because it's pretty dull sitting here talking to yourself. So yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be NFP today. We do this what I do, I stream now sort of the main key events, sort of macro events that get released throughout the throughout the month. We sort of like do a trivia as well sometimes, and we digest the news as it unfolds. NFP is the first Friday of the month every month, but government shutdown in the US, so there's no data. So there's no non-farm payroll data today. We're also due to have PCE today, personal consumption expenditure. That's being cancelled as well. So there's no data, but I thought I'd scheduled it anyway. So I thought we'd jump on and say hello, see what's going on with you guys, and I thought we'd also run another trivia as well. So normally we digest the news as it comes out, look at the market movements, but so it hasn't been out now for a couple of months. The last non-farm payroll we had was September the 5th, I think it was. That's a long time ago. And I'm going to ask you, I want to ask the question, without this news that we're seeing out of the US, so the big news, I know we had the Fed rate cut recently last week, but with the lack of all this news, has trading become more difficult? Has it become have you been less profitable? Have you struggled in your trading because you don't have this economic news? I don't know. For me, it hasn't made a dot of difference. Do I need the news? Do we need to follow the news? I know a lot of traders out there are just macro traders. Well, I don't know. I mean, for me, as a technical trader, the news doesn't really matter. I mean, there's still been some volatility in there. Stock markets are, still moving. Gold, I mean, look what gold's been doing for the last couple of months without NFP, without all the data. Gold hit all-time highs. In the last 2 weeks, gold has dropped 10%. Some big volatilities going on. Stock markets are, pulling back now with, having hit all-time highs. So the volatility is still there, despite the fact there's no economic news coming out. It's become easier, says Simmer Hill. Possibly has. I don't know. You don't get these erratic moves. And if you're technical traders, well, for me, now I've been in the market for so many, I used to say so many years, but now I have to say so many decades. Now I've been in the markets for so many decades, I don't really focus on the 1 minute charts anymore and the lower time frame charts. So I'm more the long term. And my long term trading means that normally my stop levels are further away and my profit targets are further away, depending, of course, on where you are on the trade. But it's normally these big news events that catch out a lot of the rookie retail traders. Because you get, the spreads wide and the violent moves and you get stopped out. So, yeah, it's I think it's become a little bit easier for people. Of course, yes, says Hunkuma, the Aaron Kumar. It says Aaron. Yeah, I mean, thanks to Trump, it has got a little bit more volatile, hasn't it? Nelson says no different. Nelson, you won the competition last time out, didn't you? If I'm not mistaken. How are you getting on with that assessment that that you proudly won last time out? Non-farm. Do you know what I used to do many years ago? When I was trading these news events, I had a strategy. I don't trade it now so much because I don't really pay attention to the news with my trading. But the strategy basically was on non-farm payroll and the UK. I used to play it on the UK GDP figure. It was basically take a note of where the currency pair that you're trading, usually the pound dollar or the euro dollar, or the euro dollar. Take a note where it is 30 minutes before the announcement. Let the announcement come out at the bottom of the hour in the US. Half an hour after that, markets are generally back to where they were half an hour before. So trading those deviations from half an hour before was quite a profitable strategy for me in those days. What do you think about Michael Bowie's shorts and his claim that we're in a bubble? Is this the AI bubble? Yeah. We're in a bubble, AI bubble. I don't know. Are we in an AI bubble? I think we are in an AI bubble, but I think we're a bubble that's not yet ready to burst. And I think stock markets are, strong on the back of earnings. Money's got to go somewhere. If yields are coming down, where do you want to put your money? Well, you can put it under your pillow, or you buy stocks that are doing, reasonably well. I saw Tesla yesterday. I think they're up today, but Apple, Tesla, all these tech stocks all doing reasonably well in terms of earnings. Non-farm, buy or sell. There's no announcement today. No announcement of non-farm payroll today. But anyway, as per normal, we're doing a trivia. We're doing a $12,500 experience program giveaway. So that's the one phase program, which is a fantastic program, actually one of our most popular programs. One phase, and then if you pass that, you get straight into a live environment. All simulated funds here at Funded Trading Plus. It's all simulated funds. It's all virtual capital, but nonetheless, it doesn't deter your ability to take nice, healthy payouts. But the trivia gives away a $12,500 assessment account in our simulated accounts, and it basically involves 3 questions. You just have to get the questions right, and you get randomly drawn at the end. Okay, but the idea of these trivia questions is that you listen to me. Some of the answers are not going to be found when you're doing ChatGPT. Some of them will be, some of them won't be. So you've got to pay attention to me. I know a lot of you want to use ChatGPT for that, and that's fine. But you got to listen in to me. I've already given away one of the answers already in my spiel already since we started speaking. But you need to listen to me to sort of gauge, to get a sort of a handle on what NFP is all about. So NFP normally is very important, of course. I mean, it normally is the biggest event of the calendar month because it's basically job numbers. It basically tells us what's happening to the US economy. Everything starts with employment, of course. More people are employed, more people spend money, more people spending money. It means inflation goes up, and inflation goes up. It means that the Fed have to start moving interest rates so that inflation meets their target, which is in and around 2%. But at the moment, they haven't basically been dishing out data for a couple of months. The data, I mean, the government shutdown is affecting all areas. I noticed this week that the ATC, Air Traffic Control, they're limiting flights now in the US. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, which announced these PCEs and announced the non-farm payroll, they're not getting paid, so we're not getting the data. But the Fed still moved interest rates. Fed cut interest rates by 0.25% last time out. You may have seen. But although the actual numbers are not being released by the Bureau, of labor statistics. There are banks that are basically doing the same analysis, same type of analysis. And I was reading a report earlier today from the Bank of America that basically normally gets it pretty accurate when it comes to NFP. We're basically saying that the labor market has been cooling. Basically, it's not as as sort of explosive as it has been. It's cooling, but it's not by any means collapsing. So I think which is good news for the Fed. You don't want a collapsing, obviously, job market, although that does help inflation. So although the market's cooling, that's good. They can ignore the job numbers for a while. But what they're focusing on, of course, is inflation, which, as you know, is around 3.8%, which came in, as you know, lower than expected. So you've basically got the Fed cutting interest rates. Did you see the Fed cut last week? Okay, widely expected. And if you go to let's put it up here. If you go to the FedWatch tool, which is a CME tool, telling you what the futures market is doing in terms of F11, so here we are in terms of interest rates. This is 3.75 is where we are at the moment. The chances of a cut now at the next meeting, which is on the 10th of December, is at 70%. So this was quite a lot higher before the last meeting, but Fed Chair Powell basically put the brakes on. Basically said that the next cut is not a gimme. It's not definitely set in stone at the moment. That was basically up at around 85%, but now that's come back with the expectations of a cut, maybe pushed down, maybe pushed back into next January. January the meeting. I think you need to pay attention to. That basically has the cut in there at around about 75-80%. So that's why the dollar has been reasonably well supported. Although the last couple of days it's off about 0.5% or something, but the dollar's been well supported in the fact that the Fed maybe are less likely to start cutting rates, more aggressively. It's one of the reasons I say why you may be seeing the stock markets cooling off a little bit as well. Maybe one of the reasons why you're seeing gold come back as well, because the Fed cuts maybe is not as expected as before, as likely as before. Right, I tell you what I'll do. I just gotta before I get onto the charts, I just want to drop out the trivia questions so you can get your answers in. Okay, regarding non-farm payroll. Remember, everything that I do here on these live streams is meant for education purposes only. We're all grown up. I think we all understand that. And you should always consult an investment advisor if you think you want to invest rather than relying on these streams. If you have any doubts, of course, that is. And remember, all our assessment accounts here at Funded Trading Plus are on simulated accounts, no real capital at play, all virtual funds. Right, here we go. That's said and done. Let's get into it. So now you're all getting your ChatGPT up. That's fine. We're giving away a $12,500 experienced trader program. It's a one phase. If you don't win, there's still a great deal on that. Should you wish to take it out anyway, it's one phase. I think it is our most popular program. Okay, which is the US government agency that releases the non-farm payroll report? Okay. Which US government agency releases the non-farm payroll report? I did mention it a moment ago, as I've done with all these questions. When is the last non-farm payroll report released? When was the last non-farm payroll report? Okay. The last non-farm payroll report, okay, was released. And this question, I've actually messed up a little bit here. What is the approximate size of the US workforce as per Andrew's intro? I don't think I mentioned it. So you have to use ChatGPT if you don't already know. what is the average approximate size of the US workforce? You know, there's 330 million people in the US. How many of those are actually working outside of the agricultural sector, outside of the non-farm payroll? What is that number? I think you'll be able to get the number there if you get that into whatever your information is, if you don't already know it. So those are the 3 questions. I'll come back with the answers shortly. Let me just have a look at the charts and see what is going on there. Right, let me drop the code here. Right, so if you want to use this form, get your answers in. Okay, you need to leave your correct email address, of course, and your name, otherwise you won't be valid. We'll only be giving out the coupon code for the winner to the email address you put in the on that form. So there you are. Those are the 3 questions. Approximate size of the US workforce, as per Andrew's intro. When was the last non-farm payroll report released, and what US government agency releases a non-farm payroll report? Okay, let's have a look at the markets then. What's been going on? Just so you know, since the last time we spoke, we've had a rate cut in the US. We had the UK yesterday. The MPC, they left their interest rates unchanged. I'm slightly surprised. If you look here, let's just take it out to the 4 hour. I always like to use the 4 hour for this. I'm quite surprised really at the strength of this British pound. That's the white line. Pound is reasonably quite strong at the moment. I know the US dollar is on a bit of a decline. In general, this is the 4 hour chart, normally quite a good overlook, but the pound is one of the main beneficiaries. Now, they voted yesterday to keep interest rates unchanged by 5 to 4. So it was pretty close. It was pretty on the wire. You know, the general call was unchanged. That's what they're expecting. But the vote split really did surprise the markets. So there's 4 voting members that actually voted for a cut. That basically means it was really down to just one vote that made it swing in the favor of keeping rates unchanged. So the markets are thinking now that the next round of, Bank of England meets will maybe deliver another cut in interest rates. Another cut in interest rates should affect the pound to the downside, but the pound is actually reasonably strong at the moment. So if you're looking to follow trends, then buying the pound. Well, I mean, the pound is having a pullback at the moment. The pound is strong, dollar is weak. If you're looking to follow trends, the idea when you're using this type of analysis is to buy what's strong, what basically is above the line and heading up, and you sell what's weak, what's below the line and heading south. So at the moment, the pound is quite strong and dollar is quite weak. So this will tell you that the pound against the dollar is most probably worth a little bit of a punt to the upside if your strategy rules align. Maybe punt is the wrong word. You should only be trading your strategy rules. Of course, if the rules align, you take the trade. The euro is the light blue line. That's reasonably strong as well. Again, I think this is all really down to the dollar weakness. Another one, another currency that's been in the wires on the news this week has basically been the Japanese yen. So, there's a new prime minister in Japan that's sort of supposed to be on the more sort of dovish side, likes soft policy, weak policy, which normally should affect the Japanese yen to the downside. You did have some data out this week that also showed the wage growth in Japan lagging behind inflation. Arida, who's the Japanese finance minister, has already mentioned, I think he mentioned it last week, I think, that for them to start thinking about raising rates, they need wage growth to push up. Well, wage growth in Japan hasn't been pushing up. Wage growth has been lagging. So the likelihood of an imminent rate hike in Japan has basically been pushed down. That basically means the Japanese yen should come under a little bit of pressure. The Japanese yen is weak anyway, but this could create more weakness. So just by looking at here, and the reason why I use this is basically it shows me what's going on. It doesn't actually predict the future. What this will show me is where I should be focusing my eyes. Well, I'm looking here at this blue line. The blue line is the Japanese, is the euro. The Japanese yen is the brown line. So looking at the euro yen for a potential buy trade is something that I would now go and focus on to see if indeed there are any potential setups. Again, it just saves me a lot of time when I'm reviewing my potential trade setups. Just saves me a lot of time, scanning the market. It's almost like a scanning tool, if you like. So the euro yen for potential trades to the upside. So you can see we've been on a, in fact, this is a boomerang reversal coming in now. This is one of the strategies I teach in the masterclass. I can see it set up here immediately. Let me just show you here. Let me just take those off for a second. Remove all these trading tools. Remove all the indicators. This is the 4-hour chart, okay? The boomerang reversal would have you shorting there. Now, can't remember if I traded this or not, or whether we spoke about it. This here is a boomerang reversal. You break, so the idea of that is you're making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and then you pull back to the higher low, and that higher low in an uptrend should make a new high. Well, if it doesn't make a new high, it shows you that potential buying momentum is fading. Okay, so the idea behind this strategy is the failed higher low that doesn't make a new high is your sort of break of structure level. If you break there, generally speaking, it's showing you a potential reversal, and that's exactly what's happened here. You've broken through here to the downside, comes back, retest, and off it goes. What we're seeing here now is a potential reversal to the upside. That would have delivered you if you would have taken that trade there on our boomerangs, you'd have had your profit target there. You'd have had profit target down here, maybe. Might not hit profit target. Well, you would have got close, but you would have been targeting like a 3-to-1 on that. A 2-to-1 you'd have definitely got, but I'd potentially had mine at 3-to-1, so I'd been maybe looking at cutting out of that now. But what we're seeing now is a potential reversal. You're seeing a stronger euro, you're seeing a weaker yen, but the reversal of that pattern is basically where we are now. So you see downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, pullback. All markets have pullbacks. Now you're not seeing the, oops, let me just take that off. Now you're not seeing, so you pull back. Again, this fails to take out the lower low there. This is a higher low. This is your structural break. If we break here, which we seem to be doing at the moment, this is your reversal trade in the euro yen. Yen is weak. This must be not a bad little setup. Don't trade it just for the sake of it. You've got to be following the strategy. You've got to understand the strategy before you go, just go off and trade this willy-nilly. But this is potential for a trade long. Stops below swing low. Profit targets would be back up to those highs. Again, well, you're getting about a 1.5-to-1 on that, on this interim reversal. You got a stronger euro, you got a weaker yen. Most probably works. The other one was the pound yen. Pound yen. Okay. I mean, this is a significant, same thing. Pound strong, yen weak. This is definitely a level. And that's, just look here, these double bottom. This double bottom from, what was it, October. Bounced off it a couple of times. This is a significant level. That's why this rally that you're seeing at the moment is stalling. You haven't really got a boomerang here, but it's an important level nonetheless. It's decision time. My bias is for a weaker yen, to be honest. So I'd be more inclined to look to trade this to the upside, but there's no setup for me here on the 4-hour chart. But that would be the sort of the overall bias. I'm just looking at the clock here to see when the release of the data. There's no release of data. It's not out today, is it? 5 minutes to nothing. Is it a strong enough trend in the down? Is it a strong enough trend? It's not the best trend, Pit Parade. Not the strongest of trends, I give you that. but that's certainly the pattern. Can you explain question 3? Question 3. Yeah, how many people are eligible to be working in the US? Who's in the US workforce? So let me just have a quick check to see if I've got that. I've got the answer there. Let's have a look. Just bear with me a second. Okay. A few people are getting the answer right. Phil, I'm just looking at these answers here. Yeah, you got it close. There's not many people who have got that question right. The last question, but there's a few of you in there, so that's good. Obviously, there's all chat coming out of here because I recognise some of the answers myself. There you go. So what else have we got going on? Let's have a look here. What else is weak? Aussie dollar rates unchanged. Euro Oz, pound Oz. I can't see the pound. I'd rather buy the euro yen rather than the pound yen. Personally, I think the pound is having an artificial rally, quite frankly, but it is what it is. But the Euro Oz would be another one you might look at. Euro against the Oz. Euro strong, Aussie weak. I couldn't trade that really. So now, the hardest trade in the trading book. Let's fill that gap. Look, do you know what the hardest trade is in the book? Hardest trade in the book is to do nothing. And I think it's supposed to be that way at the moment. Tell you what I am looking at. And I think over the weekend it could be an interesting. And that is Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin has been a bit of a lead. Yeah, I think you saw the sort of the move out of risk assets, sort of starting here really with Bitcoin, and I wouldn't be surprised over the weekend to see the Bitcoin come under more pressure. Now, obviously, you can't trade stocks over the weekend, but if this Bitcoin continues to move lower, and we've definitely broken structural points, points in levels in Bitcoin, and I think if Bitcoin were to continue its move, over the weekend, breaking out this support zone, then you're going to see Monday morning stocks opening lower. I mean, that's my prediction for the weekend. Not trading that. I'm quite long stocks as it goes, but I think this Bitcoin it's been quite a good indicator of where the stocks are going. So if you're trading the stock markets, then look, stocks are down. We're at a crucial. This is the same type of structural point that you're seeing in Bitcoin. You are seeing in the stocks. This is a level. If you break here, which I think it will do over the weekend, which I think it will do this afternoon and into Monday, I think you're going to see a capitulation in stocks, possibly down to here. But Bitcoin, I think, could be the leading indicator on that. I think Bitcoin is I say this. I've been saying this to my kids for 3 or 4 years. I don't know where Bitcoin will be in 10 years' time, but I guarantee you, my kids will be talking about it in 10 years' time. In 10 years' time, it could be one of those Microsoft moments. You put $500 into Microsoft in 1990, you'd be worth 10 billion now, whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised to see that type of story in Bitcoin in 5-10 years' time. So I think Bitcoin will be significantly higher in the years to come. But over the short term, it's a risk on, risk off asset, and it certainly is trading with some risk off mentality at the moment. So I think that most probably continues. Bulls versus bears. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's have a look then. I mean, this again, if you're trading boomerang trend on the 1 hour chart, where do you see? Well, this is it. This is the boomerang trend. Let's just take that off for a sec. Low. This is the low that led to the lower low that led to that lower high. Pulls back into that lower low. It rolls right off it. That is an absolute. It's a 2 hour chart, so it's about the same as a 1 hour chart. But that is a boomerang trend continuation trade. If you're trading my boomerangs, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, by the way, well, you should come over to the masterclass, which you can access. If you take an assessment out and you use the Prop IQ coupon code, you'll have access to all our education and so forth. Let me just have a look here. This is all our education. Fund trading masterclass. Some of you have seen this before. Got a whole bunch of education videos, everything, beginners, intermediates, the professional mindset, all about risk on, risk off, correlation, journaling, amateurs trade, professionals manage risk, probabilities, technical analysis, some basic technical analysis in there, psychology. This is a psychology course that Simon put together. Fantastic course. It's about 11 hours, I think it is, in there. We talk about the strategies. This is where you can see all the different strategies that I talk about. The boomerang reversal, boomerang trend, boomerang, all the rules, and you've got the naked trading strategy in there. That's anyone's been following me for the last 10 years or 15 years would have seen the naked trading strategy. All the rules and walkthroughs are in there as well. Resources, you've got all these cheat sheets you can download, stochastic strategies, you've got candlestick patterns, trade journal. It's actually got a fantastic trade journal in there as well, an Excel spreadsheet which basically does all the information you need, profit factor, expectancy. It's all there on the journal. You can get yourself into that. And this is the psychology course. Actually, this is Simon's psychology course here. This is it's got 8 video lessons, about 11 hours. That's my psychology as well. So it's all bunched in there. It's all free, by the way. All of this is free. All you need to do, of course, is at the checkout when you're taking out an assessment, you just use the coupon code PropIQ, okay, and you'll get access to it. And the other thing you get with this, if you take a 25K account or more, you will get a one-on-one session with me. We set an hour, but it normally goes on for longer than that. We get to know each other. I'll set out a little roadmap for you in your trading journey. You basically become on my watch list, so I can you can reach out to me. It's almost like having a private mentor on your shoulder. You get a one-on-one with me if you sign up using the Prop IQ code on any of the assessments, coinciding with some good discounts going on there as well at the moment. So check that out. That's how you'll get to know more about Prop IQ, should you wish to own all my trading strategies. Tesla's swinging around. Look, Tesla's. Do they like the fact that Musk is back on the wires? It's very much of a rangy market at the moment, isn't it? What about the US 100? Buy or sell today? I don't know. That can I just ask? So what about the US 100? Buy or sell today? If I said it was a buy, would you buy it? If I said it was a sell, would you sell it? So I can't read your name, but it's because that type of question, really, with respect, is dangerous. I will trade my strategies according to what the technicals show me. And I don't know if it's going up or going down, but I know if my rules align, I'll trade it. So in terms of the US, in terms of the NASDAQ at the moment, well, unless I see a reversal, like you saw up here, boomerang reversals, there's no reversal play in here at the moment. Let me just go back to the 1 hour chart, the 1 hour chart here. 1 hour chart. We're in a downtrend. Yeah. 1 hour chart I will use for entries. The higher time frame charts I use for my direction. So unless I see a reversal pattern shaping up, I'm only going to be selling the NAS. It might go down, it might go up, but I will only be selling on a trend intraday on the lower time frame charts. Okay, so what are we down? We're down. We've dropped almost 5% in the last week. So the NAS is now in a downtrend on the intraday charts, and you can see that on the 1 hour chart. Yeah. These lines on here, by the way, are the opening range. I'm just putting together a strategy video on a ORB, open range breakout. I'm only selling. I have no idea where it's going, but I'm only selling it, is my point. Isam. Hi, Isam. Thanks for that question. Yeah, I'm only selling it, Isam. But I don't know if it's going down. I have no idea. But I won't be buying it until we see a reversal pattern. And even then, I don't know which way it's going. Unfortunately, I'm not able to predict the future. You know, and any trader that tells you he's predicting the future, or any trader that gives you a trading signal, you know, if you take a trading signal from someone that tells you this is going because the RSI has just gone below, up through 30 or down through 70, and the MACD is doing this, and he tells you to buy it or sell it, it's random nonsense. If you're following a strategy that has an edge over time, and every time you do that, certain things are more likely to happen than not likely to happen, because that's what's happening in the back testing, then that's something you've got to work with. But taking a random call on up or down, buy or sell, with the technical indicators or anything is just random nonsense. I'll tell you that now. And I've been doing this for enough time over the years to know that. It's random hocus pocus nonsense. You need to have a strategy, and you need to just stay with the strategy, controlling risk. That's trading, not being able to predict where the markets are going. For me, I'm only selling this Isam, and I'll look for my entry. My entry on here, have established my my bias using my boomerang. Using my boomerang, let me just take that off. That's not very. There we go. So my boomerang trend following strategy will tell me to sell that there. I know where my stop is because I know what my rules tell me. There's my short entry. There's my stop. My profit target will be at a potential liquidity zone, and I can go out to the my potential. So this whole move started from here. That would be my profit target, slightly ahead of that, because we don't know if there's liquidity down here. That's one thing we don't know. There could be a whole bunch of split orders down here. Split orders are basically where you had buy orders that didn't get filled. When I was in the city as a market maker on the US and the UK government bonds, if someone had, insurance company or a hedge fund had sold us 100 million government stock, I'd need to hedge that in the futures market. I'm not going to send out 10,000 contracts at once into the futures market. I'll split it, doing it bits at a time. I don't know whether there's other split orders down here, whether the buyers that took all this up got all their orders filled or not. So I'm going to wait. Or on this occasion, I'll wait. I'll take my profits ahead of that, because it could find the liquidity comes back in and off it goes. Right. So there you go. Right, folks. Let's just get back onto this quiz and see and see the answers. Let's have a look. I'm just waiting to get. Okay, here we go. Right. Okay, so these are the questions. Let's have a look to see who got that right. First question. Which is the US government agency released? That's obviously the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yeah. Quite straightforward, certainly if you're using ChatGPT, which most of you have done. The last non-farm payroll was on the 5th of September. That is basically 2 months ago. This is the one that basically has confused a few. What is the approximate size of the US workforce as per Andrew's intro? Well, the approximate size is 150,000 to 160,000. Okay, that's the correct answer. And I know some of you, of course, have got that. So well done to you. We've got about 8 correct answers only. Only 8 correct answers. Well, there you go. 8 correct answers. And now I'll have, I know my team are in the background. If someone can randomize and come back, it's basically just for internal purposes. It's 77, 79, 82, 84, 86, and 85 were the correct answers. If we can randomize that, I would appreciate it. So thanks for that. I'll get back with an answer I'll get back with a winner very, very, very soon. Yeah, those are the ones. Right. Okay. Well done to all you that got it right. 106. I was surprised at that. 150 to 160 million. That's basically. I know you've obviously got children, you've got old people, and what have you. It's not very many, is it? 160 million outside of the workforce. Right, just bear with us a sec. Okay. Thank you. Got my winner coming in now. Have you won before? I think you've won before. Could be second one for you. Well, the person that won didn't leave their name. They've just given me an email, and I can't put that on the screen, obviously. So that's invalid. So we have to do with that again, please. Because the person that basically won randomized didn't actually give me their name. So that's unfortunate. You just put in your email address. Never mind. I'm going to ask for another winner, please. Another winner. Just waiting for another winner to come through. Right. Okay. Got one. Let's have a look at your answers. I've just come through. Oh, wow. This is a bit of a coincidence coming in here, I think, by the looks of things. Just checking the answers. Bureau Labor Statistics. Yep. 5th of September. Approximately. Oh, you've just got in there. You said 159.5. You came in with 159. I said 150 to 160, and you just about got in there. So well done. Let me just put that on the screen now. And we will announce the winner. So let's have a quick look at the questions. Can you explain the opening range breakout? Yeah, that's a really good. I'll tell you about that in a second, Pipway. Right, the winner for today's competition is going to be, drum roll, please, drum roll. Boom. Esam, now that is remarkable. I know you have been in the chat for a few months now, chatting to me, with always with the name written in your language. But today is the only day you've announced your name, but you are the one that got it right. There's only actually 7 people that got it right. So Esam, congratulations. Congratulations to you. No problem, Esam. No problem. You don't see anything in the background. Is it black? There you go. Open range breakout pip is a fantastic little strategy I've been looking at. Okay, so I've just done a whole video on it, cheat sheets and everything. It's a very simple strategy, and the back testing I did on it was actually quite good. I've never traded it myself, but just the back testing, and you need to do some experimentary work on it. I'm not going to go into it now, to be honest, but you can do it. You can, if you search ORB on Google or something like that or whatever. There's a whole, people have been trading the open range breakout for decades, but most people I think have been trading it wrong. So I put a little spin on it in terms of just a bit of a filter on it, and from what I see, it's actually pretty good stuff. But again, you have to just keep following, and I haven't released those yet. Why is the non-farm not released? Because of the government shutdown. Because of government shutdown, all the main data has been basically been postponed. So there you have it. Right, folks, I'll leave that there. Thanks for tuning in. I'm hoping to stream next week for CPI, I think. But again, we'll have to wait and see what the government are doing out there. I think this is the longest shutdown now we had since the last shutdown in his first term of presidency, of the Trump presidency. So we'll see how long it goes on. Got a feel for these people that live, each month for their paychecks. Some of them having to do other work now just to pay the bills. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to Esam on that. Well done for that. Just pipped in there. Better luck next time for those that didn't. If you are serious about trading and you haven't taken an assessment account, now is a good time to do it. Clearly you're interested, otherwise you wouldn't have turned up and entered the competition. If money's just a hurdle, there's some great discounts going on at the moment. Head over to fundedtradingplus.com to see the latest offers that are out there. Okay, folks. Well, look, have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. I'm hanging out in the Prop IQ Discord channel. Of course, you can access that as well if you take the Prop IQ code when signing up for an assessment. You can come into our private members area where we're chatting throughout the trading day. All right, folks, leave it there. How's your one? You need to email me at education@fundedtradingplus.com. Thank you, teacher. No worries. Okay, folks. Thanks for that.